zote na salamu zimfikie Hashimu.
Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam aliongeza kuwa nyumba ya Muislamu inapaswa kuwa tofauti kwa kupambwa na mambo tofauti.
Unakuta nyumba yetu tumeweka vitu ambazo ni za hatari na tunawaruhusu watoto wetu pia wanatizama vitu kama zile, tunafanya wanamsahau Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
It's mad, straight mad. Mama went a long way, never came back. Stuck up in a whole way, I never made that. Till I find a lost way, I never straight back. Say and meditate that.
The 23rd day of April 2025 it is. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to KBC Lunchtime News. I'm Njue. My colleague on the sign language interpretation is Anne Wangeshi. Of course, we are keeping tabs with what is happening in Rome in regards to the Pope's death and burial preparations, and I will be updating you a little bit more in regards to that. We also have more news in business and the latest, and especially in the game played last night between Manchester City and Aston Villa. So to the news, 2 people have died and 3 others rescued after a train they were digging collapsed on Tuesday evening in Bushiri Market, Navaholo constituency in Kakamega County. The victims met the unfortunate demise when the soil caved in on them, making rescue efforts difficult. Residents are blaming the county government for poor response in times of disaster.
Ni mchanga ambao uliporomoka kwa sababu mahali hapo tumekuwa wakitupa taka na hapo mwanzo kulikuwa na slaughter, so kuna uwezekano kwamba mchanga ulikuwa mdhaifu.
Ni nini ambayo wanatufanyia hii? Kwa nini hawawezi kuja kupima mahali pa kuchimba choo? Jambo la kwanza, watume engineer athibitishe kwamba hiyo udongo iko wazi, watu waingie hapo ndani. Wanatuma watu, wanaleta vijana wetu wanakufia hapo ndani.
Tunangangana sisi wenyewe kama raia, na tuko serikali kubwa kutoka chini mpaka juu ambayo inaweza kuja kusaidia kwa haraka. Kama ungetumanisha gari ya kuchimbua vijana wetu, hata tafadhali tungepoteza moja na wengine nao wabaki kama wangali hai.
For our next story, we cross over to Rome. What we know in regards to the Pope's death so far, in regards to his death, and also what comes next. We can authoritatively say that indeed he will be buried on Saturday. And as you can see today, what happened is that there was a public service at the St. Peter's Square, which now ushers in the public viewing. Remember, he will be buried this coming Saturday. And among those who have already confirmed that they will be attending that funeral includes US President Donald Trump. There's a PM for UK, that is Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, the French President, Volodymyr Zelensky, among leaders who have already confirmed their attendance to that. And let's first of all listen in to what they have to say.
I nostri cari. Fratelli e sorelle, per celebrare degnamente questi santi misteri, riconosciamo i nostri peccati. Confesso a Dio Potente, a voi fratelli e sorelle, che ho peccato in pensieri, parole, opere, omissioni. Per mia colpa, mia grandissima colpa, e supplico alla Beata sempre Vergine Maria, angeli e santi, voi fratelli e sorelle, di pregare per me, il Signore Dio nostro. Dio Onnipotente, abbia misericordia di noi, perdoni i nostri peccati e ci conduca alla vita eterna. Amen.
excelsis Deo, et in terra pax hominibus bone voluntatis, laudamus te, benedicimus te, adoramus te, glorificamus te, gratias agimus Dei, propter maniam gloriam Tua, Domine Deus Rex Celestis.
That is a live mass that is going on at the St. Petersburg. There, tens of thousands of pilgrims have arrived in Rome to mark the death of Pope Francis. And remember that the body is currently laying there, and there will be public viewing just to give pilgrims and thousands of people who want to pay their last respects time to view the Pope's body before he is interred on Saturday in the morning. We'll be keeping you abreast with what will be happening at the Vatican right here in our subsequent bulletin. And from Rome to China now, where President William Ruto has witnessed the signing of 7 deals with the Chinese government worth nearly $1 billion on the second day of his state visit to the East African country. The deals comprise a $150 million investment in a special economic zone in Kikambala, Kilifi County, a project to set up manufacturing factories for textiles, garments, and solar power in Muranga and Athi River worth $300 million, and $400 million will be allocated to a large-scale aloe cultivation, processing and export base in Baringo County. The head of state notes that these deals have the potential of creating over 24,000 jobs in manufacturing, agriculture and tourism sectors.
Excellency, that since that time, they have invested in various fields.
On his second day of his state visit to Beijing, China,
are enjoying benefits and fruits of investing in that.
President William Ruto chaired the Kenya-China Investor Roundtable.
Kenya is open for business.
This culminated in the Kenyan government inking 7 investment deals worth nearly $1 billion.
Where our rich agricultural base offers a double-digit return on investment. Our ICT and BPO sector, housing and construction, tourism, creative economy, mining, and blue economy are other sectors that have wide-ranging opportunities for investment.
Implementing the important consensus of our leaders during the visit of the President this time, as well as the 10 partnership actions of the FOCAC Beijing Summit last year to encourage and support our companies.
The deals under manufacturing, agriculture and tourism sectors will, according to the head of state, create over 24,000 new jobs. On manufacturing alone, China WE plans to invest $150 million in a special economic zone for manufacturing, processing, warehousing in Kikambala, Kilifi County. Shangcheng Apparel Group Co. Limited plans to set up manufacturing factories for textiles, garments and solar power in Muranga and Athi River worth $300 million.
The first factory has been put into production, and the other 3 factories will start operating within this year. More than 15,000 jobs will be created by our investment. Our 3 years investment experience in Kenya proves that it has a very bright future to invest in manufacturing industry in Kenya.
While Rongtai Steel Co. Limited plans to use $100 million in expanding a steel manufacturing plant with additional production lines and establish a research and development center in Lukenya, Machakos County. Njue Juba Electronic Technology Co. Limited will invest $50 million for a planned development of a smart traffic component in Mombasa County. On agriculture, Shanjong Agriculture and Animal Husbandry Technology plans to use $30 million in a hen-laying farm with a stock of 500,000 hens in Kajiado County. The Zonken Group will invest $400 million in the cultivation, processing and export of large-scale aloe in Baringo County. And on tourism, the Hanan Conference Exhibition Group will allocate $23 million for leasing of hotels in Nairobi County. The president invited more investors to explore more opportunities in the country, noting that Kenya is the gateway to the East African region and the continent at large.
We offer promising prospects ranging from textiles and pharmaceuticals to electric mobility and construction materials, all supported by Kenya's expanding industrial base.
Kenya, as an important economy in East Africa, enjoys sound economic foundation and unique geographical advantages. It is a leader in industrial development in East African region.
So as the China trade grows, so can the Kenyan trade. And we also want to encourage our business people to take advantage of that, and we'll be having conversations around how we can be able to open more exports to this country.
The head of state thereafter delivered a public lecture at Peking University in Beijing, China.
We support the One China policy, a two-state solution in the Middle East, and dialogue, not escalation, in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. As we say in Africa, when two bulls fight, the grass suffers.
Abdiaziz Hashim for Lunchtime News.
From China back home, the Ministry of Health has ordered the immediate inspection of all health facilities under the supervision of Clinical Officers Council. Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has further directed the Clinical Officers Council to collaborate with the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, KMPDC, in ensuring only compliant health centers are issued with operating licenses. He spoke during a meeting with the COC leadership at Afya House right here in Nairobi.
You must respect all the facilities and do a constant check. The CEO, you must go and sit with the CEO of the other council, and you must find a way of working. There's no way his inspection team can deny a facility and you give the license. No way. We will not accept it, because he will also bring his report, inspection report, to us. So if we see your two regulatory bodies' reports are contradicting, you are a regulatory body, am I right? Yes. Under the Ministry of Health. Yes, sir. So you have to choose between being a union, being an activist, being something else.
And still on health, the Senate Committee on Public Investment and Special Funds has called on the national government through the Social Health Authority, SHA, to intensify efforts in settling outstanding payments owed to hospitals across various counties. According to committee chair Godfrey Osotsi, during a visit to the Kilifi Referral Hospital, Osotsi warned that failure to clear outstanding arrears could severely disrupt service delivery in public hospitals and hinder the funding of other vital county projects. Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mung'aro, who echoed the sentiments, complained that the delay is paralyzing the delivery of healthcare services.
Kwamba hospitali hii inadai shilingi milioni 303 kutoka kwa serikali kuu kwa sababu ya ile malipo ya SHA ambayo haijalipwa. Na hiyo ni jambo ambalo linafaa lizingatiwe kwa sababu linaweza fanya hospitali mingi ziweze kukosa kufanya kazi.
Huwezi rudisha wagonjwa nyumbani. So kila siku wakija wagonjwa tunatibu, lakini pesa kurudishwa inachukua muda. Na hii inatuathiri kwa sababu kuna vitu mingi sana tunataka kufanya kama county, hasa kwa hospitali.
Moving on, Game Member of Parliament Elisha Odhiambo is calling on the political class to desist from practicing or politicizing, I beg your pardon, security matters in the country. The lawmaker was addressing a baraza at Kato village in his constituency, where he said the unwarranted attacks on security apparatus risk exposing the country to security challenges. Odhiambo further added that the National Intelligence Service, NIS, the Interior and the military dockets ensure the safety of the country, and that interference from the political class threatens this.
Don't meddle on issues of security touching on the nation called Kenya. That this country, we cannot dare talk about the military or NIS, because those are the institutions protecting us. They are the institutions that are protecting the Republic of Kenya to ensure that as a country we are secure and we can go to bed at night.
Elsewhere, victims of the Mai Mahiu floods disaster are appealing to the government to honor its pledges and provide a lasting solution to the crisis that has left them without homes or livelihoods. The victims note that a year after the tragedy claimed over 60 lives and displaced hundreds of families, many survivors are still unable to return to their farms, which have been rendered barren. The victims, increasingly frustrated, accuse the government of failing to resettle them, despite assurances given in the aftermath of the disaster. They noted that most of them are still confined to temporary shelters, grappling with the loss of not just their homes, but just their main source of income.
Hiyo siku ya mkaza huu ulipokuja wa maji, hatujaweza kuwa tukilima chochote juu pipes zenye tulikuwa tunalima nayo tulikuwa tumetoa maji huko juu na zote zilienda na maji. So hakuna vile tumerudi kupanda ama kulima.
Chakula ilikuwa inakuwa kwa wingi sana. Lakini kwa saa hii mchanga ni ngumu sana na hakuna yeyote amelima kwa saa hii.
Sisi tunaomba agriculture ije itusaidie, itupimie mchanga yetu ndio tuone kama twaweza lima ama wajue kama watatuletea juu wengine ni mawe tu.
Now, environmentalists are seeking an effective way of controlling the Oputia stricta, an invasive cactus species, by formulating a policy framework that would reduce its spread on pasture land. Various stakeholders, including government representatives, have been holding consultative meetings to collect views from those affected by the cactus that is now prevalent in 5 counties. And despite the anticipated economic benefits from the cacti, community representatives are pushing to have a government policy supportive of total eradication, arguing that livestock deaths and suppression of pasture growth outweigh the expected gains. Communities in Laikipia County, in collaboration with researchers, have been utilizing the Oputia stricta in the production of biogas, animal feeds, wine, jam, and also cosmetics.
In the near future, because we have so many nutritional values from the prickly pear. You get to have vitamin C. It also fights diabetes. It's an anti-diabetic product. It also helps in digestion of your body, and it is full of antioxidants.
Opuntia imeshukua 60% of the total land ya Majana. Na sisi hata tukiambiwa kwamba itatoa dawa ama itatoa juice ama itatoa pombe, imemaliza ng'ombe. Sisi ni ku-eradicate kitu naitwa upuntia.
Tumekuja hapa kwa hiki kikao tushughulikie hizo changamoto ambazo sana sana wafugaji wanapitia kwa kupatia wanyama wao lishe. Kwa vile huu mmea sasa unafanya sehemu za lishe ziwe nadra kabisa.
For our next story, we cross over to the Kenya College of Insurance right here in Nairobi's South Sea, where the IEBC commissioners' interviews have been ongoing for almost a month now. And this is the last week. Let's first of all listen in.
Also be able to elect their democratically elected representative. So for me, the broader vision would be ensuring that we deliver that election process for the voter in a way that is free, fair, and credible. That would be my biggest vision when it comes to 2027. Okay, are we delivering on the mandate that has been given to us? That being said, my first step would be, in terms of election preparedness, looking at the timelines that we have towards 2027, where are we in terms of the pre-election phases, the most important things. I would assume, again, that the Secretariat already has a work plan. That's my assumption, that they already have a work plan moving forward. Okay, because it is that work plan that would inform procurement. It is that work plan that will even inform all the activities that will be done towards 2027. Having looked at that particular work plan, then figure out our priority areas. What is our priority area one? If it's an issue of voter education, when, how, and can we be able to do it with the least amount of resources to use? Okay, then you look at the other issue that could, for example, be voter registration. Where are we on matters voter registration? Where have we been able to register voters? Where do we have, because you realize every time KCSE is done, we are releasing to the country people who are 18 years old, almost 900,000 of them. Okay, so if you look at since the last election, how many have we? So you realize there is already a bigger catchment of people who are eligible to vote that we've gotten all of them registered in there, being able to do it in the shortest time possible, and also making sure that we are very inclusive. Time should not be a reason why we cannot be inclusive enough. All right. So in my opinion, other than looking at the work plan, number one would be rolling out the voter education. Some of these, I say, they are low-hanging fruits. There are things where you can be able to do without investing a lot of resources in them, especially matters of voter education. If we choose having our official pages, I'm assuming at IBC, again, there's a corporate communication department. Some of these things can be channeled through that department. The other issue is...
I've already seen the one.
Yes, and then, of course, the issue of, voter registration. For me, those would be. The issue of boundary delimitations, I'm sure we are still waiting for the Supreme Court to pronounce itself, so that one would still wait to hear what the court will decide. But that would be my first 3 steps.
Very well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Do you have our final 2 questions?
Yes, Sylvia. We usually finish through the chair with high school questions. We start with your area of expertise. Which is the television network that broke the monopoly of KBC, and which year was it?
It was KTN, Kenya Television Network.
Which year? 30 seconds. Okay, I ask you the second question, which is now not in communication, but instead is in culture. Which 2 African countries are known for their traditional beadwork? In other words, when you go to different countries, that beadwork is like a souvenir that...
This King Musati's country.
I want the country.
King Musa, they have intricate beadwork.
The second one? But I would need the country, but go ahead. The second one?
There is King Mswati's country, and then the second one, Ghana.
Which is the most obvious one that you should even think of before you go elsewhere?
Kenya.
Which community?
The Mas. Is it Maasai?
Thank you.
Okay, the Maasai and Kamba.
Oh, okay. But I got the Maasai.
The IBC getting a little bit interesting country that the community known for its beadwork, and you don't have to go far. It's I think I can answer that one. The Maasai right here in Kenya, the Turkana, the Samburus also know how to do a thing or two about beadwork. Country is King Mswati's country is called Eswatini, formerly Swaziland. Anyway, we are keeping tabs with what is happening at the Kenya College of Insurance as well. More on that a little bit later. Moving on, the government has intensified its effort in uplifting and empowering traders through the construction of decent modern markets across the country. In Kiambu County, the modern markets are underway in Kabete constituency, nearing completion. This initiative aims to provide local traders with safe, organized and conducive environments to conduct their business, fostering economic growth and improving livelihoods.
County last year, President William Ruto issued a directive for the construction of 7 modern markets in the food-rich Kiambu County to provide traders with a decent environment to sell their produce. And while the construction of these markets is ongoing in places like Githunguri, plans are at an advanced stage for the construction of Wangige Market in Kabete constituency. Kabete Member of Parliament James Wamashukuru said the market is one among several others the national government is constructing in the constituency to empower local traders.
Tunashukuru kwa sababu wametuambia wataiweka maanani niposa wekezaji wa Wangige watosheke na wajengewe soko kulingana na matumaini yao na kulingana na vile wangeipenda.
The legislators alongside traders representatives engaged State Department for Housing and Urban Development officials in a comprehensive deliberation on the market design.
Sababu hii ile wanga ni ya wakulima wengi, hata watu ambao wanga wanachuuza mambo kama mituba na hizi na wea hizi zingine wanga wanafaidika sana. Kwa hivyo we want to thank the national government for taking this initiative, na tunajua kwamba watatengeneza kitu ambayo itakuwa ya faida zaidi kwa wanabiashara wa Wangige.
State Department for Housing and Urban Development Nairobi Metropolitan Regional Lead Joseph Kagicha said the construction of modern markets will also create employment opportunities for the youth in the area.
Hii soko beyond kuwafanyia mahali pazuri pa kufanya kazi, pia italeta ajira kwa vijana wa hiyo area ya Wangige.
The markets come with other social amenities such as a cold room, a meeting hall, an ICT center and an ablution block, among others. Martine Maslin for Lunchtime News.
Very well, at about 1:30 we are due for a fast break, but when we come back I'll still be running you through more stories in business and later on in sports. With many leagues, only about 4 or 5 games and the tantalizing fight for survival and also for the cup. I'll be bringing you all that plus much more a little bit later.
Yo, fam, it's that time again. Finals. Oh, yeah. Go TV. Let's go. Go TV. This is too big. The Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa, and more. Finals. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. Go TV. Love it.
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation. We will be focusing on women. We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision.
You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood every Sunday at 4 p.m. on KBC TV for Dada's Show.
Welcome back and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Elsewhere, a leadership controversy at the helm of the Samburu Boda Workers Union is threatening to divide the workers into two factions. One party is accusing the incumbent leadership of Jackson Lesibian of failing to advance the welfare of the union 6 months after coming into power, dividing them along tribal lines. Jackson, however, says the other faction is pushing to have its own officials in his committee, despite others being duly elected. The division has put the welfare of union members at crossroads.
Hii ofisi hakuna mahali inanipeleka. Inanipeleka tu mahali ya ukabila. Kwa sababu hii kazi ya pikipiki sisi hatutaki ukabila.
Ingekuwa ni kiongozi ambaye anatupatanisha, angetuita kama wanabodaboda tusuluhishe na tupate mwelekeo. Lakini sasa wamejitenga kikundi ambayo tunaona hawatupeleki vizuri. Kwa hivyo tunataka uongozi ambaye inatuunganisha.
Hawa ndio wanagawa, wanasema wafanye kitu fulani ambayo mimi sifurahii. Wakiniambia toa secretary ama treasurer sio mimi nilimchagua, alishaguliwa na wanabodaboda. Wakiniambia toa komiti fulani, mimi siwezi nikatoa mpaka komiti wakae chini, wa mashamba wakae chini ndio wapate kufanya kazi kama hiyo.
Let's shift focus to matters fight against illicit, where the county government of Kirinyaga has intensified its crackdown on illicit alcohol following an incident where 2 people reportedly fell ill after consuming alcohol in Marura, Kangai Ward, Mwea constituency. County Executive Committee member, the CECM for Sports, Culture and Social Services, Dennis Musiemi, confirmed that the patients are currently in stable condition at the Kerugoya County Referral Hospital. He also dismissed earlier reports claiming the victims had gone blind. Musiemi warned bar owners against operating without valid licenses, emphasizing that compliance with the Kirinyaga County Alcoholic Drink Control Act 2024 is mandatory.
Illicit Mburu and counterfeit in Kirinyaga County, we have employed what we are calling RRI, together with the County Commissioner Office and the County Government Office, whereby we are having impromptu visits to various alcoholic outlets. For non-compliance, we are able to arrest them and they are prosecuted in the courts. Those who are found to maybe selling illicit brew, we are also prosecuting them. And for non-compliance outlets, particularly the bar owners, we are requesting them to comply to our Kirinyaga County Alcoholic Drinks Control 2024.
Now, hundreds of youth in Isiolo County who are preparing to join universities and colleges have benefited from a 2-day mentorship program on career choice and sensitization against drug and substance abuse. The program, organized by Alliance Against Drug and Substance Abuse in partnership with the Northeastern Youth for Development and the County Government of Isiolo, offered learners a platform to identify available opportunities and choose career paths that suits them. The trainers urged parents to be part of their children's career journey by guiding them in making the right choices.
Where we basically do not have exposure
to students selecting their courses, as well as access to facilities and knowing which career path they will take in life.
Janga la mihadarati ambayo imekumba hii jamii kuanzia miraa, bangi, pombe na mihadarati vinginevyo. Tuliona vijana wetu wakiachiliwa bila kuhamasishwa na waendelee katika hiyo hali, tuliona wataenda kupotea.
Imetusaidia sana kwa mambo ya COPS, kwa apply career guidance, kwa sababu najua watu wengi nchi yetu ya Kenya na huko nje pia hawana habari ya kitu wanachotaka kufanya.
Juu kitambo sisi tulikuwa confused about it, but sasa wao wanapewa guide, wana choose ile course yenye wanataka, at least wanapata advice kutoka wenye wako experience kitambo, but we are happy for them. So tunaomba wengi wafuate hii mtindo.
For our next story, we cross over to the Milimani Law Courts right here in Nairobi, where my colleague Ruth Wamboi is currently keeping tabs with former Migori County Governor Okoth Obado case at the court. He has a murder case and also a corruption case that has been pending for a while. Let's hear more from Ruth. I can see you, Ruth. Good afternoon. A warm welcome, and kindly bring us up to speed with what is currently happening.
Thank you so much, Ben Troy Njue. We are coming to you live from Milimani High Court. It's a chilly afternoon here as it is raining outside here. But we are here to keep our viewers updated on what is happening up here at the court. Today, we know is the kicking day for a case to answer for former Migori Governor Okoth Obado. You understand that the governor, when he was at his tenure, he faced a murder of former Rongo University student Sharon Otieno. The case has taken almost 7 years now, and today, on 30th of January this year, the governor was found with the case to answer after hearing of many years. And now today, the case was scheduled for a hearing today, tomorrow, and this Friday. It has 3 consecutive days hearing. And today kicked off with the governor taking to the witness stand here at Milimani High Court. And he gave his side of the story of what transpired during that fateful day in 2018. The governor gave his accounts, among them saying that the XYZ, who was the journalist that was then in the picture, who worked with Sharon then to ensure that the governor was brought up to the account on giving his account on what would have happened to her in terms of supporting her as a lady on that incident. The governor took to the stand and he told the court that indeed he knew the XYZ, who was the journalist in question in this matter, and another witness by the name Mula, who is also majorly mentioned in this case. So he has gave his account that indeed it was not his intention. By the end of his sentiments on this case, he has told the court that it was not in his intention to kill the late Sharon Otieno, and he did not even plan or did not even apply information that Sharon was going to be murdered on that fateful day. So the court has taken a break and is coming back at 2 p.m. on where the lawyers for the victims are going to cross-examine him on what really transpired and what his sentiments have been over the morning session. So we're waiting for that afternoon session when he will tell the court on the questions that he will inform the court through the cross-examination by the lawyers for the victims. Back to you, Troy. We are following up closely on this matter. We'll update our viewers in our subsequent bulletin.
Thank you, Ruth Wamboi. They are giving us a detailed update in regards to Okoth Obado, former Migori governor, murder case that has been pending in court for the last 7 years. And indeed it has, because I remember starting to cover it in the year 2018. But this year, the 3 were put in their defense, of which, as Ruth has clearly mentioned in that they were exonerated from they were facing 2 murder charges in regard to Sharon and also her unborn baby. But now they will only be answering to the murder of Sharon Otieno way back in September 2018. Yes. In other news, banks will begin integrating climate-related risk and opportunities into their business decision and operations in line with the International Sustainability Standards Board template in order to enhance transparency and investor confidence. Kenya Bankers Association CEO Raymond Molenje says this will allow lenders eliminate greenwashing and prevent relevant, reliable and comparable data on ESG factors critical to investors and consumers.
With this template, we'll have data to be able to speak exactly to what green financing means, the terms that are used within that ecosystem, and that will help us be able now to even advise our customers well and help us to deploy our capital to greening and being green and being sustainable as a bank industry.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers has launched the Route to Market Strategy 2025-2027, a forward-looking blueprint that puts a digitization and market diversification at the core of its export agenda. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers CEO Tobias Alando says the strategy aims to empower small and medium enterprises to break structural barriers and access new markets in line with national priorities, among them raising manufacturers' GDP contribution to 15% by the year 2027.
This team has grappled with structural challenges ranging from over-dependence on a few markets, complex compliance processes, inadequate support for small businesses and limited access to real-time trade data. The Road to Market Strategy 2025-2027 seeks to turn the tide with a modern data-driven framework to unlock new markets.
Trade intelligence, using data to know what is required, where it is required, when it is required, and how can I take it there.
Industry Principal Secretary Dr. Juma Mukwana underscored the alignment of the RTM strategy with national development priorities as a transformative blueprint challenging manufacturers to take full ownership of Kenya's industrial potential by embracing digitalization to enhance product quality.
Europe was industrialized by Europeans. America was industrialized by Americans. Hiroshi will tell you that Japan was industrialized by the Japanese. So where do we get this foolishness that somebody else will come and industrialize for you?
Of our members, 60% are SMEs. We want to promote export-led growth. We want to support SME development because the SME are the future and the backbone of any manufacturing sector.
The RPM strategy also seeks to increase jobs in rural cooperatives and special economic zones and raise exports' share of GDP to 30% by 2025. The launch of this new framework comes amid rapid shifts in global trade, with trade officials in the export ecosystem seeking to leverage this new strategy to position Kenya as a competitive player ready to scale new markets. Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.
Thanks, Trevor, for that. Moving on, the Postal Corporation of Kenya, PCK, has received 22 million shillings under the Post for Health program from the Universal Postal Union to augment government's efforts of restructuring the agency. Broadcasting and Telecommunications Principal Secretary Stephen Isaboke says the amount will be matched with the government through the Universal Service Fund to a total of 46.1 million shillings to support the PCK build long-term capacity while providing last-mile health-related services.
Kenya, through the PCK, applied to UPU for consideration for support through the Post for Health initiative for distribution of the health products and technologies. And in particular, Kenya applied for support to acquire 5 trucks equipped with the refrigerated storage equipment worth about 46.1 million. And we're grateful that this project will actually enable the PCK to build a long-term capacity to provide health-related services while promoting diversification of the postal services, as we've said earlier.
And
concerning the post for health. Actually, it's a good and a new initiative. Now, post office is not anymore, not only for postal business, actually for the social function.
Moving on, African Continental Free Trade Agreement Secretary General Wamkele Mene says African countries must unify to deal with the disruption caused by U.S. President Donald Trump global tariffs. Frederick Moki has the details as we take a glimpse of what is happening in the world of business across Africa.
President Donald Trump slapped tariffs on almost every country in the world, complaining they have been taking advantage of the world's largest economy's openness for trade. Economists have, however, questioned the methodology used to arrive at the tariffs, which saw the small mountain kingdom of Lesotho slapped with the highest tariff rate at 50% under Trump's reciprocal tariffs. The tariffs on Africa have called into question the future of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, under which a number of African countries enjoyed duty-free access to U.S. markets. The pact is due for renewal this year. African Continental Free Trade Agreement Secretary General Wamkele Mene suggests the continent should use the opportunity to diversify its markets and strengthen intra-African trade, which remains the lowest among global regions at under 20%. Meanwhile, the South African rand rose as gold prices rose after U.S. President Donald Trump criticized Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, rattling markets and boosting demand for the safe haven asset. The rand is often supported by surges in prices of the gold and mineral exports that South Africa's economy relies on. Finally, the World Food Programme has suspended malnutrition treatment for 650,000 malnourished women and children in Ethiopia this week due to severe funding shortages. The UN agency said with millions more at risk of losing access to aid, World Food Programme gets financing from 15 to 20 donors, including the United States, but many of them have cut funding this year. The country director in Ethiopia said that the agency has received exemptions from the U.S. President Donald Trump's aid freeze that has disrupted humanitarian work around the world, but little for 2025 so far. Frederick Moki for Lunchtime News.
Across borders, Meta Platforms Oversight Board has castigated the Facebook and Instagram owner over a policy overhaul in January that cut fact-checking and eased curbs on discussions of contentious topics such as immigration and gender identity. Meta Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg says it welcomed the board's decision that live up or restore content in the interest of promoting free expression on platforms.
Announcement set the board on a possible coalition course with Meta Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg, who has been working this year to mend fences with Trump and roll back a decade's worth of initiatives aimed at mitigating harms like hate speech, misinformation and incitement to violence on his company's services. It also asked Meta to assess the effectiveness of its new community notes tool and disclose the results every 6 months. The tool, which is similar to one used by Elon Musk's S, replaced the company's partnership with new organizations and fact-checking groups as its primary mechanisms for curbing the viral spread of false information. Meanwhile, the ongoing 137th China Import and Export Fair, commonly known as Canton Fair, kicked off its second phase on Wednesday, showcasing an extensive range of home life products. Over 167,000 products will be shown during the second phase, making it the most extensive collection among the fair's 3 phases. The Canton Fair's first phase, which concluded on Saturday, attracted over 148,000 overseas buyers from 216 countries and regions, marking a 20.2% increase compared to last year. The Canton Fair spans 1.55 million square meters of exhibition areas with about 74,000 booths, including nearly 73,000 for exports and about 1,600 for imports. Finally, the IMF is now forecasting global growth at 2.8% for 2025, a sharp 0.5% points reduction from its January estimate, with a further slowdown to 3% projected for 2026. Advanced economies face particular headwinds, with collective growth expected at just 1.4% in 2025 and 1.5% in 2026. The United States saw the most dramatic revision, its 2025 outlook slashed by 0.9 points to 1.8% due to mounting policy uncertainty, intensifying trade tensions and softening domestic demand. The report warns that if trade tensions escalate further, global growth could face an even steeper decline and trigger significant volatility in financial markets.
And back in the local scene, poor internet connectivity has been singled out as one of the main hindrances to Social Health Authority SHA registration in Baringo County. During a SHA awareness training for community health promoters and health workers from Baringo County, it was noted that other setbacks to be addressed urgently include rough terrain, poor infrastructure, insecurity due to cattle rustling, and natural calamities such as constant droughts and floods.
We may not be able to register some of these members, and you know SHA is highly digitized. It's not even like NHIF. If possible, everybody would do their own registration at home using their mobile phone. So the more numbers that we are going to get in registration, the higher you go, the higher global funding you will get. If the number remains at 27, you will just be receiving a certain figure that will not grow. But the more numbers you bring, because the county is supposed to be paid based on the registered numbers.
In other news, government leaders, civil society representatives and gender equality champions from across Africa have converged right here in Nairobi to advance the fight against gender-based violence. The regional workshop aims to promote positive masculinity and foster meaningful engagement. The two-day workshop brings together key stakeholders to exchange insights, share best practices, and develop clear strategies to involve men and boys as allies in the fight against GBV.
When I talk about meaningful engagement, we are not talking about men taking space for girls or women, but we are talking about the power, because we know that men still hold power and Patrick is still real in our societies.
There is the problem of the shifting power dynamics in society between men and women, between boys and girls.
Institutions, parents, and local government structures.
Sports national under-17 women's team have left the country ahead of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup qualifier second leg match against Cameroon this Friday. Speaking during a meeting with FKF President Hussein Mohamed and Sports Principal Secretary last night, team captain Halima Imbachi stated that they are going for nothing but a win, and that the team has been training in high spirits, optimistic to register a huge win which will see them qualify for the World Cup. Her words were echoed by Sports Principal Secretary Elijah Mwangi, who added that they will provide all support to the team to ensure they give the best results. Junior starlets must overturn a 1-0 deficit suffered on Sunday afternoon at the Nyayo National Stadium to progress to the finals to be played later on this year in Morocco. The return leg will be played on Friday in Cameroon, with the winner of the two-legged tie securing a ticket to Morocco for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup set for the 17th of October to 8th November 2025.
Your prayers, mko kama wazazi wetu, na sasa tunahitaji tu maombi yenu. Mimi najua tushafanya everything in training, tumefanya corrections zote, coach ametusaidia, tumecorrect everything, and najua kitu tunaenda huko, tunaenda tu kuput a little effort kwa chenye tulifanya last, ndo tutapata win.
They have shown resilient. Having reached this level, it is a matter of determination. So to them, it is an achievement. And for us in the sport ministry, we are supporting all the discipline. We want sports in this country to be to the level whereby it can be the leading in this region.
In the EPL, Matthias Nunes scored in the 90th minute to give Manchester City a priceless 2-1 victory over fellow top 5 contenders Aston Villa at the Etihad Stadium and moved third in the battle for a Champions League place. What could be a preview of next month's FA Cup final looked set to end level as City struggled to find a way through Villa's defence after Marcus Rashford cancelled out Bernardo Silva's early opener from the penalty spot. Take a look.
Though, Conser on the chest, flicked on by Boubacar Kamara. Might break for Tielemans. First chance for Aston Villa, and Rashford might get an early chance here. Marcus Rashford for Aston Villa. Oh, it's hit the post and come back out. Oh, Ollie Watkins scored in 30.
Indeed, Arsenal face Crystal Palace this evening in another EPL matches. As I said earlier on when we're beginning this bulletin, 5 or 4 matches remain for the EPL. Who will be the champions? Liverpool? Yes, I think so. But we're also leaving you with news that indeed after the Mass that we started with at the Vatican, the Pope's body will be free for all to view. Remember, as I had mentioned, is that tens of thousands of mourners have thronged the place just to catch a glimpse of the Pope, pay their last respect as wait for his burial on Saturday in the morning. In front of St. Peter's Basilica. The Pope will lie in state inside the church from Wednesday morning and will remain there until his burial at St. Mary Major in Rome, also on Saturday. Those are the live pictures. You can see the Pope in his casket, and mourners have now a chance to view the Pope, pay their last respect, and also pray for his soul to rest in everlasting peace. Many thanks for joining us for KBC Lunchtime News this afternoon. Many thanks. Of course, we have more bulletin in our social media spaces, including our KBC digital app. We'll keep you afloat with all the latest happening. My name is Njue. And Anne Wangeshi has been our sign language interpreter for this broadcast. And allow me to just say this. Many thanks for those people who have wished me a happy birthday today. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Wellness is important in our daily lives so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have by regular checkup. People don't know they have hypertension. People don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation.
We will be focusing on women.
We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision.
You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood every Sunday at 4 p.m. on KBC TV for Dada's Show.
Uhali gani mpenzi mtazamaji wa runinga ya KBC Channel 1. Ni juma lingine mtazamaji, tunapatana katika nyanja hii ya kilimo. Nyanja ambayo hukufunza wewe mbinu bora na za kisasa pamoja na teknolojia zinazoimarisha maisha. Mimi ni wako Francis Ngala. Karibu katika kipindi cha mkulima. Gari letu mtazamaji juma hili lilitia nanga katika eneo la Mathare hapa jijini Nairobi na kukutana vijana hawa ambao wameungana pamoja kuanzisha mradi wa kilimo na ufugaji ili kuona kwamba unaingia katika mnyororo wa dhamani. Vijana hawa wanajiita Huruma Town Farmers. Hebu nisikuwa muongeaji sana, tuungane na wao watusimulie historia yao.
Ni kikundi cha Huruma Town Youth Group. Kikundi